Right.
Oh, how's your this is your workbench?
It's sitting in the back of the garage, as it has been for the last 3 years or so. Although my brother-in-law asked about it the other day, um,
Uh,
interestingly enough. So,
I
how was
wanna.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm listening.
No, I was gonna say, how was your new gig?
Slow.
Slow.
Yeah, slow. I'm waiting to be productive, or waiting for an opportunity to be productive.
It's contract.
No, I'm a full time employee.
Oh,
It's
you're
like
gainfully employed.
it's my first time in like I think like 12 years.
Oh, so you get to settle in and be like a full timer like the rest of stop the rat race, huh?
Be a lifer. Uh,
Yeah. Are you ready to take them to the next level?
well, I mean, my biggest. I have to choose my words carefully. The one of the most noticeable things that I need to just adapt to is the amount of taxes that they're going to take out of my paycheck involuntarily.
Well, you can have them not take any out if you want.
The W two is a W two. What do you mean?
Well, I believe you can specify that you've got a billion dependents or have um you just you what am I thinking? You have to uh claim like many dependents or whatever, and then they won't take it out. You could pay your own taxes that way. I mean,
Okay, I'll
yeah, so
I'll
you can
I'll try to
so it's
look it
like
up.
so you can claim however many you want, right? So you can say, like, if you claimed 9 dependents, they probably would take no federal taxes. I don't know about that. Assume state taxes.
If I claim 9 dependents,
Yeah, which that's
right?
not. I don't. There's no illegalness to it. It's like you can claim whatever the heck you want.
Well, it is illegal if you don't legitimately have 9 people that depend on
No,
you.
no,
Okay, you're
it's
right.
not. It's the thing is that it's those values are really about just trying to target how much they should withhold so that they can pay taxes on your behalf. I don't think you actually have to pay taxes for that. I could follow up with my wife and ask her, but I mean, that's why sometimes people pay in taxes because they they or they miscalculate it. Personally, it's probably nice to. Then you don't have to worry about your quarterly tax payments or whatever, um but I'm pretty sure you can change your withholdings to whatever you want, and it's really about how convenient it is for you or not. Like some people, they put like no tax withholdings, and then they get this huge tax return at the end of the year. But it's like that's not illegal. Yeah,
Yeah, but you're going to be paying the same percentage of taxes regardless, whether
yeah,
whether you get money back from them taking out too much and the Fed collecting interest on what they took from you automatically, or if you need to write them a check. So
yeah. But that's the same if you're a contractor, though,
no, it's not. No,
isn't it? No.
I pay in general half of what you people pay
Oh, really? Why?
because with my
Write-offs and stuff.
yeah deductions and
Hmm.
writing off expenses. Yep.
Hmm. Well, there you go. Yeah. So it makes sense.
Now, I mean, still have to write a check, right?
Yeah, yeah. You'd still have to pay your taxes.
The
So
worst is when you have to write a check when you make like over 100 or a couple hundred thousands of dollars a year. That's painful to write a check like that.
I
Even
wouldn't
if
know.
you,
It's painful
I,
to.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, I've had to pay in taxes for the last few years, but um, I mean, it used to be really nice to be like, "Are we gonna get a refund?" It's like, "Oh, you got this nice refund, great." Now it's like, "How much are we gonna have to pay in this year?" Uh, so I think last year I got screwed because not screwed, but I had to pay in because I would have probably been perfectly right on the edge of maybe getting a small refund, but we got like a stock, uh, big stock payout or whatever from the purchase of my last company. So it wasn't big for me, but it was enough to where they probably didn't withhold enough. I don't know. But yeah, it was only like $1,000 or something this year for me to pay in, which is nice.
I'll send it to your private chat.
Vomit.
Yeah,
Jeez.
and if you don't pay it, they kick in your door, and then you get taken to federal bang you in the A prison. But I mean, but I don't think they bang you in the A if you go to a white collar like facility prison. It's more of
Don't worry,
a
Scott. If you ever go to
1-star
prison, you'll be the
resort.
one. You'll be the one banging others in the A.
Yeah, just crashing cheeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
No. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I don't really know if there's such a thing as that, but maybe it's those are like minimum security prisons, I suppose.
yeah, 1-star resorts.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, sometimes like if you didn't have to worry about dangerous people around you, prison sounds like a pretty nice deal. Like all your health care is paid for, all your meals are taken care of. You have leisure time. There's activities. It sounds pretty sweet.
We're talking about white collar prison, right?
Yeah. Well, I
Okay.
said if you didn't have to worry about the dangerous people around you, you know. But as long as you're not like hiding crap in your bunk or whatever.
Well, I mean, I think the part that's torture is the fact that you don't have access to exercising or practicing uh, your reproductive system
Oh yeah,
with the
yeah.
opposite sex.
Unless
That's
there's
the
conjugal visits, then that'd be fine.
Yeah, but I mean,
Do you
un-
know
un-
they have
un-
conjugal visits there?
unless you have money and you have like hookers on your payroll, like, is your girl really going to drive like 200 miles? Uh, I don't know, once a week or twice a week to handle that for you.
I don't know. There's some
It's
weird
probably
people
no,
out
man.
there, man.
People forget about you in prison.
There's weird people out there. There's people that like women that'll find, you know,
Yeah.
they could find any dude they want, really, but they find these
Pen
men in
pal
prison, and
buddies.
yeah, yeah,
Well, those are exceptions.
yeah.
And let's be real, those women aren't really that hot there. And they may be average, but they're not smoking. But yeah, some women like bad boys.
Yeah, that's true.
They're
Hmm.
stupid. But
Just realized that amount that you wrote is I think what my first salary was, possibly
you too. Well, mine was a
when I
couple thousand
started.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah, around there, anyways.
My workout. I'll try to. I usually do 4 sets of 20 push-ups with the bars, like the push-up bars I got. Like, how often do your workouts you you
Sorry.
how often do you have terrible workouts where like instead of getting stronger or progressively stronger, you get weaker?
I don't know. I mean, most of my workouts are running, so
Mm.
um, I have times where runs are bad, but it's not too often. So I was worried about last night because it was freezing cold out and rainy and stuff, but I killed my 6 miles and good to go.
I think I need a knee replacement. I'm
Maybe
tired. I'm tired of hobbling.
you get titanium knee.
Is that what they use now?
I think so.
Is
Oh
that why
man,
it costs? Is that why it costs? How much is a knee replacement? What is it, like 30,000,
I don't know,
forty
probably a
thousand?
lot. I mean, they're doing a pretty invasive thing to you. So I've had this persistent cough for like the last 2 weeks or so, maybe 3 weeks now. I don't know how much I'm going on, but it's weird.
STI.
That must be.
So that's like my answer for anything that you say that you're sick with. I'm like, you got an STD.
Hmm.
I John A. DeGose. Does that name sound
Yeah.
familiar? He actually has me wanting to learn Rust.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I'm trying to say no. I can't be scatterbrained. I can't learn yet another programming language. I graduated to a higher level of solutions developer, architect. Like, what would I look like just continuing dabbling in programming languages?
You want to be like a systems developer or whatever? Isn't that what it's called when it's like a lower level thing?
Yeah, so I'm finding the urge to buy books on it and practice like in my off time. And I should really just be trying to consistently make progress on networking, certification, and security. But that stuff is boring. Like the art, it's not expression, right? And I think I'm in love with like art and form of expression that you can do with syntax, right? Where you can expose the way that your mind works. You can put your imagination on the editor, and I like that.
So why aren't you building your own programming language yet? Just so you can try to define the perfect syntax.
You never saw the language Nimrod?
I think I have, but that's not your language.
Mm. What would my language look like? I think I think if I were to write a language, I would try to force myself to do. I would try to force myself to have the syntax in XAML.
So your language would be XML.
Yeah.
that's, that's not. I mean, that's not your own language then.
Why isn't it?
I I suppose it would be I mean, it's a
That's like
higher
saying,
level. Yeah, I guess it'd be a higher level XML language. It'd be more of a spec, wouldn't it, then at that point?
why would it be a higher level? What's the difference between what I said of XAML versus XML versus C sharp from Java? Like characters are characters, right?
Well, it's a declarative language, but um,
Nope, nope. I'm gonna make it functional.
how the hell are you gonna make a functional?
I'm gonna have pattern matching on it.
You're just joking now. I don't even know how
I'm
that would
gonna have
work.
discriminated unions as well.
I can't even fathom what that would look like.
It's gonna be a lot of syntax.
I suppose if you could do like blocks, so I don't know. Do you have like a if statement? I don't know.
No, no
Actually, I
if
mean,
statements.
you could make XML as a definitely as or like an XML. You could use angle brackets as your block like delimiters or whatever maybe, but I don't know. Ugh.
Yep, it's gonna have discriminated unions. It's gonna have pattern matching. And it's gonna be in XML. And it's going to be like 4 times, 5 times the syntax of your uh, your Lisp or your F sharp or your Scala.
I was looking for a job a couple years ago. I was trying to think of through specking out how you could turn a job posting into a programming language. So like the goal would be to try to take it'd be an esoteric language where you try to make a believable job post and turn it into a workable like program. Um, and I can't remember. There was a whole series of like rules about it. Um, but yeah, I don't know.
How are you trying to job post into a programming language?
Well, all it is just you'd have to follow a specific sequence of things, and things would mean things. I had it all. I had it all figured out. Well, not all figured out, but I had the it roughed out in posted on Twitter, I think, at the time. But I can't for the life of remember how it would work. But it was inspired by the Rockstar language,
Mm.
where you chain together certain strings or certain whatever, and it means what it is. Um,
Where is this Lambda Conf hackathon? Where is this at? Oh, it's in Colorado. When? May 8th.
so
Um,
you better get your tickets.
I would actually consider that. Mm, I wish it was in like a Caribbean island though. There has to be more of an incentive for me to travel to do some coding. Like I don't want to go to Colorado. I would want to go to like Philippines or Indonesia, Dominican Republic, like somewhere exotic that has hot women. So after I get done coding, I could like have fun. With Colorado,
You don't want to go out there and meet some Rocky Mountain ladies and
you ever had Rocky Mountain oysters?
no,
You know what they are?
yes.
Uh, um,
Hmm.
I mean, ill. Point.
I'm sure if you were like, I mean, I'm sure they taste fine or whatever, though. It's probably not even that gross, to
They
be
probably
to be
taste
honest.
salty.
It's just an organ.
They taste salty.
I don't think so. They produce it, but like they don't like just they're not saturated with it, are they?
You never tasted that before?
No,
You never
not
tasted
really.
something similar to it before?
I don't know.
Mm, I wonder what has more testosterone. Uh, a bull or a lion, male lion.
Yeah, good idea to qualify that.
I think a bull has more testosterone. I'll look it up.
Man,
Which animal has the most? I know who has the most testosterone. It's probably a bonobo. The most testosterone.
let's see what ChatGPT
Bull
says.
sharks. I would have never guessed.
This one says the American bull elk, bull
One
elk,
shark tested even higher than a male African
particularly
elephant in heat.
during mating system.
A male African elephant in heat with 64.4 milligram or GN/ml.
Hmm. ChatGPT said American bull elk, so must be wrong.
I wonder what it's like making love to a bull shark.
I'll ask it. Are you sure it's not the bull shark?
You're gonna ask it what's it like making love to a bull shark?
I could ask it.
I didn't know. Real talk. I didn't know fish had testosterone. I thought that was a mammal thing.
A bull shark. I'm asking it. What's it like to make? Oh, it was maybe. It just gave me the. It's important to respect wildlife
Mm.
kind of response. But it did say bull sharks, like many sharks, have mating process that is quite different from humans, and not something that humans can safely or ethically engage in. Can be quite aggressive. They often bite females as part of the mating ritual, which
I
can
do the
leave
same thing.
scars. This behavior is natural for sharks, but highlights the vast differences between human mating and behaviors of wild animals. Crazy.
In other news, so I don't think I'm going to Colorado for a Lambda hackathon.
Why not? Then you could take a big road trip, go through Kentucky on the way, pick up a dog, and take it on your first adventure. Have it pee all over your car.
No, you have it in the kennel. Um, I was in Toronto over the weekend.
So you go to Canada, but you won't go to Colorado.
I have ties to Canada,
Oh yeah, that's right.
but I would like to get residency. Residency, I don't know if that's the right term in Canada. I just don't want to wait more than a year or 2 years. So, like, if you have a sought after skill, then you get put on the fast track for uh for Canadian like immigration or whatever.
Hmm.
But they want you to. It's basically like trying to get a secret clearance. You know? They want they want all your records. They want like your high school diploma, your college degrees. They need proof that you went there. You have to take an assessment test despite your degrees. I don't think I'm willing to do all that. It's just easier to just get married.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm,
Hmm.
that might work. Canada's a liberal country. They let gay people marry, right?
Yeah.
We just don't have any photos together. I gotta find somebody where I have a lot of photos with the other guy. That's Canadian.
That's Canadian. Do you know a
Yeah.
lot of Canadian dudes?
Not a lot. Just my ex's brother.
There you go.
You think he'll marry me?
Maybe. Is he married?
I need that citizenship. He is. Crap.
Do they allow plural marriages yet up there? You could be a brother husband or
Brother husband? Work
like a
husband?
sister wife.
Yeah. I gotta figure out how to get in there. It's a beautiful city during spring and summer.
Toronto is.
Uh, Kind of
I
weird
think it
though.
sits below where I am in terms of like longitude. Isn't it
Nah.
like isn't it like half of Canada sits like almost like majority of Canadians actually live below the topmost of the United States?
I don't think so, but I could share my screen.
Geography's fun. Just exploring the world.
Carefully think about what I'm going to type.
Yeah, definitely. It's way below me. I mean, I'm up like I'm actually almost higher than Maine.
Why am I trying to? Uh, I was trying to do the pinch motion on my trackpad. I'm out
I
on my
sit
laptop.
above I sit above Toronto, Ottawa, and Montreal. All of them.
Oh, the Americas is so like. Well, I'll take that back. So they can access Asia through almost Asia through Alaska. Hold up, isn't it? I thought Japan was under.
Japan's over there.
I didn't know Hawaii was under Alaska. Hmm.
Wow, go figure. Really, what's really weird is if you take Japan and you like compare it to the East Coast of the United States, it's like the same size as the entire East Coast. It seems like it's this kind of small. I mean, it's a thin country, but it's really long. And I always think of it
That's
like
what she said.
I always think of it as being like surrounding China. Like you know how China's like that curve there. I always think of Japan hugging that. I don't think of it being as like up on the top next to Korea. I don't know why, but China.
What is it about China? You look at its neighbors, right? India, um, Thailand,
Mm-hmm.
Myanmar,
Myanmar.
Myanmar, Mongolia. Uh, What is it about China that got so developed compared to its neighbors?
What do you mean it got so developed?
Okay, so you can go to Beijing or what's the other one? Shanghai. I don't know what the cities are. And obviously, I'm trying to be like politically correct. It's a very developed country compared to like third world countries. And my question,
How did China become like a first world country? That's what you're asking.
yeah, and it's not just people, right? Because India has like over a billion people, but it's not as developed as China in regards to infrastructure and quality of living.
I don't know.
Well, you're supposed to know this.
Maybe resource. I mean, they've got some resources, but I don't really know if they have more resources than other areas.
I think they rape other countries' resources. Like they rape Africa over here.
Well, yeah, who isn't? But
Hmm.
the Congo is such a weird like place.
All right, so Cameroon is French, Nigeria is English, Niger. That sounds French too, right?
I think so.
Mali, I thought is French.
Poor
I don't
landlocked
know.
countries.
I don't know what Ghana is.
Not Ria.
What?
That-
Gonorrhea?
yeah,
Uh,
that'd be funny if the country next to it was named Ria.
it wouldn't.
It would be
I would prefer that to be some European countries, not
the
African.
Gambia. There's so many countries you never hear about, like like the Gambia. What happens in the Gambia
Where do you see Gambia?
over by Guinea? Or
East or west? Oh, over here.
yeah, it's at the tip there, just the tip. Well, that looks nice. Can you go to the Gambia and what's the most? Is Nigeria the most advanced African nation, or well, South Africa, I suppose?
Most developed country? Is that
What's the
what you're
most
asking?
developed country in Africa?
Probably the country that has the most white people. It's just probably, I would guess, South Africa.
Is there another little country inside of South Africa? What's that little circle there?
Is there another little country inside
South
South
Africa,
Africa?
like look,
So
there's
is
a
there a
little
little country
circle.
inside of a country? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, look at South Africa right above the A. There's that circle. You see what I'm seeing? Yeah. The hell's that?
It's,
Les
it's probably a part. What is it?
Lesotho? It's its own country. It's like Vatican City, maybe.
High altitude landlocked kingdom encircled by South Africa is crisscrossed by a network of rivers and mountain range. What do you mean kingdom?
It's a high altitude landlocked kingdom. The King of Lesotho. Is that where the guy from Coming to America was from?
I forgot what make believe country they were from.
McDowell's.
That was funny.
We've got the I can't remember what it was.
You're right.
But
What do they mean landlocked?
well, landlocked means there's no water. It's not landlocked countries means there's no like ocean around it or large body of water. So it's landlocked. It's surrounded by other land. Mongolia is a landlocked
How
country.
is it a country inside of a country?
Well, like Vatican City is a country in a country, um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they do that.
Yeah, there's 2 million people there.
Lower middle income country.
This gross domestic product is $1,000. Am I reading this right?
It's probably like millions in millions or something like that. Unless it's not, I don't. I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know the. I don't actually know the gross domestic
I
product.
mean, that's pretty
Like
much
how they measure it.
the
Oh,
GDP of
it's
my
two
address
point
is a
two
thousand
billion
dollars.
is what it says up there.
I never heard of it. Yeah, you got a good eye.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either. So many places in the world I've never heard of. Like these like little islands that you randomly will find out in the ocean. There's the
I
Heard
forgot.
Island and McDonald Island. Like what goes on
Where's
there?
Gambler at,
I don't know.
man? Madagascar. Madagascar has some cool animals. What's this over here? What's Port? I can't read. Is that Port Louis? Okay. I don't know what happened.
Reunion. I'd like to go to Reunion.
How is this even showing up on the map? People actually live here.
Dude, there's weird like you look around at like down in that South Ocean. There's like random islands that people live on. Like why do they live there? I don't know. Where did I found one the other day when I was just randomly exploring. Is it Edinburgh of the Seven Seas? Yeah, that was it.
And of course, they have a church.
If you find
I don't
Edinburgh of
think
the
any
Seven
other country.
Seas,
I don't think any other. Yeah, I'm about to say something mad
uh,
racist. I don't think any other.
mad racist.
I don't think any other culture of people have influenced the world more than Europeans. You literally have African countries, African islands, Asia Pacific islands, people that look nothing like Caucasians, like having churches all over the place. That's well, South America and Latin America is a prime example. I just find that fascinating. Like,
Well, yeah, but Christianity originated in the Middle East.
and then you people took it.
They almost
Mm,
took Islam too later, but
white people took it. They almost took Islam.
well, so like Islam was kind of like up and coming, and it was actually like the religion of progress and stuff like that back in when Christianity was kind of going through its, I think, Middle Ages, and then it started going through its own Middle Ages, and Christianity had their Enlightenment, and it changed the whole world. Actually, I bet you if the Polish hadn't gotten involved, that most of Europe would probably be Islam.
I mean, they imported cows to these islands. I'm just fascinated with. Yeah, I'm about to
Hey,
be hella
okay,
racist,
so
man.
go.
You people destroyed like the native islands. Jamaica wasn't a black island. It is now. Like it just fascinates me. Like Hawaii, it just fascinates me how much the world has changed. I would argue in the last probably 600, 700 years, really like 500 years. It's just, I wonder what the world looked like. I wonder what people look like if you genuinely visited those islands or those parts of continents 500 years ago. I bet you we wouldn't recognize them.
Yeah, I bet not. So if you go to here's another example of like a little island, and it's got a church on it. Go to the middle of the go to the middle of the Atlantic, uh, between Cape Town South Africa, and Uruguay. There's a little town called, I don't know if it's a country then, it must be Edinburgh of the Seven Seas.
Needs to go towards South
Oh,
Africa.
it's a British territory is what it looks like. Yeah, there it is. Right in the middle. Look at that little island. What goes on there? Like crawfish production? I don't really know. Oh, and I didn't even see there was like a little island next to it. I wonder if anyone lives on that little island. Oh, it's called Inaccessible Island. Why is it called the Inaccessible Island?
Because it doesn't have an airport. I keep trying to do a pinch zoom or a pinch zoom out gesture on my PC trackpad, and it doesn't work.
But yeah, like what goes on there? There's a church. They had to bring in asphalt, to there to be able to like
The
put the
things to
roads
do,
in.
and it brought back in Miami.
I mean, I assume those are asphalt roads. Maybe they're just all dirt roads. It doesn't get very high.
Okay, it completely lost track of.
There's a cemetery, like one cemetery. You can see all the gravestones.
So I live here, and this is Key West, way down here. This is a modern marvel. The bridge that facilitates the Florida Keys.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's you need to take your family down the Keys. It's nice. I promise you, the drive from Miami to Key West doesn't feel that long. Plus, there's a lot of things to do, a lot of stops that you can make.
Yeah, it's pretty sad that we don't like, as a country, build stuff like that anymore. Like, I don't know. Do you think that would ever get built anymore? That bridge?
If
Like,
there were a country to do it, I sincerely believe it would be China.
we'd probably just take boats.
I wish China colonized Florida, and then they would connect all this.
Yeah, yeah.
They
You would
connect it
have
all.
you'd have
You,
bridges to the Bahamas, a floating
exactly.
bridge down to friggin' to what is it called? Cuba. There you go.
They would connect all that.
All right, here's a trivia thing. Find where I live. Let's see if you remember.
The China didn't have slaves.
Oh,
What?
they have slaves. I'm sure.
I
Every
wonder.
country at one time had slaves.
I wonder what happened if China would have colonized the Americas. I wonder what if their slave masters would be nicer. Uh, Probably not. So you are.
You're way off.
Where's Minnesota at? Here's Minneapolis. And
Like you said, I live above Toronto,
yeah, that's why you were saying that. Okay.
which I do.
Wow. All right.
I
So
actually live I mean, I probably live more north than most Canadians at this point.
you said that you live like a couple hours outside of Minneapolis,
Yeah.
and
The city is on your map now. The name.
I would. Brainerd.
Yeah, that's it.
How in the heck did you guys end up there?
So I was born in St. Paul, and my parents, uh, my dad took a job basically up in Brainerd for the uh, state of Minnesota for tax. He was a tax auditor, sales tax auditor for many years. Later, he got into appeals, but um, yeah, Brainerd is. Do you know the movie Fargo?
No, it sounds familiar though.
Brainerd's kind of talked about in the movie Fargo. It was actually the movie was going to be called Brainerd because only the opening of Fargo takes place in Fargo, which is in North Dakota. A lot of it actually takes place in Brainerd. So, and it's nothing like what's in that movie, but that's
You
where my wife and I got married.
you
Was
prefer
born
a
out of
small
Brainerd.
town over a big city?
I think there's some things that are nice about the big city stuff, but I mean, this versus suburbia, I would say for sure. Certain things that suck about downtown, like things, but I do like some of the city like life things. Just like the food and um, the energy, but versus suburbia, 100%.
Mm.
So yeah, that Northland Arboretum's where I got married. But if you scroll up just a little bit, there's a lake called Gilbert Lake, and it looks kind of like a. Oh, sorry, back. It's right above the town, middle of town. It looks like there's like a head with a really skinny neck. Oh, go up above Gregory Park.
A head with a really skinny
Yeah,
neck.
there it is. You see that little like? It's called
Looks
Gilbert Lake
looks like
there.
a fetus with the umbilical cord still
Yeah,
attached.
yeah. And then the little head coming off the other side on the top.
Uh,
So that
uh,
road that's nestled in there, that's in that little kind of peninsula area there. That's where I
mhm.
live. So
You guys have a lot of ponds. You call them lakes. I guess they are lakes. I'm just used to Great Lakes.
yeah, we've got lakes. You need to pony up. Just now that you're making the big bucks, you can pony
I'm
up and
not.
buy this cabin right here that I want to buy.
I'm gonna have to work a couple jobs just
You
to
know, start driving
feel
Uber.
comfortable. I would never do that. I'm proud of the 9,000 miles that I have in 3 years of my 2022
Just buy like
GV70.
a buy like another Uber car.
And put it where?
I don't know.
I
How
got
about
two
you? Can
parking
you
spots.
provide motorcycle Ubers?
I got two motorcycles and a car. Where am I going to? And I got two parking spots between the two.
See, I could fit like probably like I don't know how many cars, like 20 cars probably on my lot. So
Oh no, I have to have a garage.
I've got a garage. I could probably fit like 6, 7 cars in there. No, well, I don't know. Actually, small cars probably. I've got a garage that could fit maybe 2, but I have a pole barn that could fit like many.
We got 14 viewers watching this right now.
So
California
why not
failed state
why not Colorado? Just go there and
for that event.
yeah.
Where's Colorado at? I know it's somewhere over here. Is it? Where is Colorado? Oh, it's up here. Okay.
If you go to Colorado, you will meet the woman of your dreams.
The Cherokee.
Maybe, I don't know. Go to
It definitely no Colorado. They're all liberal states, man. I'm done with those wacky people.
well, Colorado used to be a
Everything West
mixed state,
Coast,
but
probably with the exception of Utah, because that's Mormon country. Everything else, you guys are just weird, man. You guys are like tree huggers. You Black Lives Matter. You defund the police. You guys have some.
okay,
You put a
then
lot of feelings before data and statistics. I don't want to go over there.
I go to South Dakota. Like here, go look at the where the Badlands are. That's kind of a cool area.
Where's South Dakota at?
It's up. So that's Rapid City, Spearfish Canyon.
Don't you think that was a weird exchange? I said, "Where's South Dakota up?" And you said up. So
There, you'd be right next to the Indian
where's
reservation.
Sturgis? Oh, this place looks cool. What's
Sturgis
this?
is by Rapid City. So
That
you
looks
see
cool.
Sturgis there.
No, you says where?
It's by Rapid City. So Rapid City, then there's Deadwood and Sturgis
You
and
act like I know what
Spearfish.
Rapid City is.
Sorry, it's on the west side of it. There's that green patch on the west side.
Oh, I see.
That's
I see.
where
I
all
see it.
the that's where the
I only got hit to Sturgis because I saw Dennis Rodman on a motorcycle. Okay.
I've been through Sturgis. It's kind of a nice town. It's smaller than I expected, but yeah, it's pretty good.
You know what I should put on my bucket list? Running of the Bulls. I should do that. That should be like I saw Rodman do it. Everything Rodman does, I want to do, except for other guys. Um,
So you got to go to North Korea, man. When you got to go to North
man,
Korea,
they will enslave me there.
not if you look like Dennis Rodman.
No, but he's a celebrity.
Yeah, well, maybe you could
That's
call him
why
up
they
and be
didn't
like, "I'd like
enslave
to
him.
go there," but I'm afraid.
No, they're gonna sprinkle some like crack on me, say that I was trying to like traffic drugs, and then they're gonna use me as a bargaining chip. and they're going to exchange me for, oh, they'll hold me hostage for something. And I don't even know who brokers uh hostage trades. Who brokered the female basketball player in Russia and got her back?
I don't know, man. Um, Probably the State Department.
I thought it was a specific person. I don't know if it. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there's a lot of places in the United States.
Yeah, there's a lot of places to visit. There's probably even places in North Dakota you could go. Not many, but there's some.
You act like they're different. Remember the conversation we had is North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming, Idaho, Utah, New Mexico, Oregon. Yeah, that looks cool.
Something I never really put together until the other day was that I never
They showed
realized
me.
that Idaho is a border state. I don't know why. It doesn't occur to me that it's a border state. It's kind of like I didn't really think of Detroit as a border city. Same kind of deal. Just messed with my mind when I realized it. Go to Winnipeg. Winnipeg's a nice city. I've heard. Anyways, I haven't been there.
Where
They
is
got a
it at?
French Quarter right above, right at the very top middle of where you are. Winnipeg.
Left, right.
It's in Canada. It's right there. You go. Biggest text on your screen.
I've been to Windsor. I used to go to Windsor a couple times. I'm sure
Well,
Winnipeg
it's
is not the same.
yeah, not too far from Toronto,
I want to go to.
Edinburgh of the Seven Seas.
I want to
You
go
gonna go to
to.
Alaska yet?
Is it Halifax? What's up here? That's Greenland. I would do Alaska. Where's is it called Halifax? Where's that part of Canada? You're supposed to know this.
I do not know what you're talking about. Fairfax, maybe? Well, I've
No,
heard
I
of.
thought it was Halifax, like Nova Scotia or something like that. I can't. This thing keeps wanting to rotate planet Earth, and I just don't want to rotate. I want to
I
like
know.
just pan.
I just
It
wanted to
keeps
go.
it keeps want to like comply with the axis.
Halifax? What the heck?
Stupid map people.
Prince Edward's Island, maybe? You should go there.
Nova Scotia. Where's Halifax? I don't know. Newfoundland. Yeah, man. I need to dust off my passport and visit some places.
Let me find a good place for you to visit here. Let's see. You should go to Russia.
I should go to Ukraine. When do you think that war is going to wrap up?
I don't know. Hopefully soon.
Yeah, I think it's going to wrap up with like this year, like December.
Yeah, maybe after the election, depending on who wins in the U.S. I mean, I don't see.
Like these countries, France, Spain, that island that you call United Kingdom or islands, Germany wasn't really in the business until like the early 1900s. But like
Yeah, they were kind of late to the
dance,
yeah, what is it called, the imperialist march.
but how is the
They
United
did
Kingdom,
have some
Spain,
though,
and France? Where's Portugal at?
right
Where?
next to Spain.
Oh, Portugal, and then where's Belgium?
Belgium is between France and Germany.
How do you know all this?
European history. No, I've looked at Europe enough.
Uh, how,
Like,
how does this square? I wish I could draw a box, but how is this region of this globe that probably makes up like I would argue maybe 2 to 3% of the world take over the world. Like that's the part that boggles my mind.
So it's all about technology. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's whoever got the technology first or advanced themselves. Technology
You
first would
mean
be the victor.
gunpowder and
And
metal
ships,
fabrication?
ships do. Ships are really.
No, 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 no. I'm talking about like 1500s, 1600s.
Yeah. What I don't understand is there's so much like in that small area, and maybe this is true elsewhere in the world too. But I just like actually, I'm just surprised in the entire world that like you look at this and it's not huge land masses, but there's so many different languages and cultures that all just developed in the same spot.
Oh, you
You
mean
know,
Africa?
well,
Well,
no,
the
I
same
mean,
thing with France,
well,
Portugal.
like
Yeah, yeah,
there's
yeah.
French
Italy.
and Spanish and Portuguese and German and Polish, and they all have their own languages, their own, Italy. They all have their own languages, their own culture, their own like styles of things. England, like they're all like this isn't a huge area, I don't think. It
Right,
just
but they all
surprises me that the tribes, like all of those like ancient tribes, all just kind of like developed into their own like modern
well,
cultures.
yeah, but
So
they all stem from the root of the Latin language, right?
I think so. Uh, Maybe not Polish. I don't know if those the Russian ones don't stem from there, do they?
Well, Russia is close to the Asian countries. The Russians are the European Asians.
Eurasians.
Yeah, that's why they're so smart. I like the politically incorrect things I say.
I'd like to go to Mongolia. I don't know why. Like I got in my head. Probably like a terrible place to go. Sits between China and Russia, but I don't
No,
know.
I was in college. I had befriended this Mongolian uh, girl when I was in college. She was cool.
But the there's a place in China called Inner Mongolia. Um, there's a
Genghis
band called the
Khan.
Who. There's a band called the Who that are a Mongolian throat singing band.
You had me listen to it a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. Ooh, I just thought it'd be cool to go see them. I don't know why.
Do it one more time.
Oh, oh man,
Where's Gambler at?
I don't know. It's one of those weeks where he's not on. Spending too much time in Sweden, I guess. No,
I thought he was in Switzerland.
he is. He is. I thought I was gonna see if you catch it.
Um, all right. I guess I'll zoom out of here.
I could probably spend hours just like going through the world on stupid Google Earth.
Oh, what type of job are you looking for? Are you still looking to be a developer, or are you trying to get into like product?
I mean, I've got a job as a developer, but
Yeah, I thought you said you were surfing for new jobs.
no. I think and I'm getting tired of software development as a whole, and I can't see myself doing it for another was it 25 years that I'd have to do it till reach retirement age unless I somehow can put away vast amount of money. It's
Well,
like I don't know.
you'd be a farmer.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd have the patience for farming.
Just hire people. I'll be the overseer.
I think I'm just gonna become a bounty hunter.
I'll be on horseback with the whip, like, yo, pick up that core.
Hmm. Now, I don't know what do you do outside of like what could you do outside of software? It's like I always thought that it's kind of got like a golden handcuffs problem, because it's like you get paid pretty well, and it's there's times where it's really fun. There's just
It's
times where
only
it's
fun
not.
when you
It's
first
like
start the project. When it's greenfield and the first like 6 weeks it's fun, and then all of a sudden
Yeah,
politics starts accruing.
yeah, that's true.
They start adding more people to the project that makes things
Yeah, I should
more
say
complicated.
programming is fun. Like I like programming and I like doing that, but software development is not as much fun as it used to be. Like it used to be kind of exciting, you're exploring and but yeah, I don't know, it's less than it was. But I just don't see myself doing this forever, so it's like something's going to hit the wall. So what am I going to do? Become like a Walmart greeter again or what? Again, like I've done that before. I worked at Walmart, but not as a greeter.
You can be an agile coach.
I think that that's a dying breed. I don't know. I see a lot of out of work agile coaches.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Agile agile coaches let people that didn't succeed in software engineering still participate in the IT industry with comm degrees and communication degrees. Those became the agile coaches.
Yeah, I always liked and I always thought that was funny in college. That was the natural progression of students that went for computer science. If they couldn't cut it in computer science, they would go to like a computer information systems degree, and if that was even too hard, they would go to business. So it was always that like flow,
And then they became scrum
and
masters
then
and
they
agile
became
coaches.
either that or managers or whatever. I think middle managers are a dying breed too. I think they're gonna eventually get phased out.
I'm on the fence for that. Uh, well, okay. What would take the place of a middle manager? And the reasoning behind my question is there is a lot of value in someone that removes barriers for you in regards to administrative like things.
Well, I think they'll just stop having barriers, and then middle managers will go away. Yeah.
We have barriers for security, amongst other things.
Hmm. I don't know. I just think they're gonna go away one day. It'll just be other developers.
Or is it just supposed to be the architect that satisfies that role? Since the architect is the liaison between the tech side and the business side.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think, okay, why isn't it true?
I don't think of architects as being that way. I don't know. It's,
You don't think the architect is the person that is able to communicate to business stakeholders, manage expectations for the business stakeholders, as well as manage and lead the developers?
Definitely not the manage and lead developers bit. That's just silly. Like to me, architecture has always been about monitoring the about people who care about the non-functional bits of the product. Like, and that's it. It's like we care about things like, and we check on things like security and availability and performance and stuff like that, and making sure that the code is maintainable and stuff like that, and setting forth practices for those kinds of things. Um,
And the architect doesn't.
Package monitoring and all of that kind of stuff. I don't think of an architect as being someone who, well, a lot of architects do, but I think that's more of like I think of that as more of a principal or staff plus type role. But architects are staff plus roles, so I don't think that there should really be a difference between the architecture role and like and the developer role. It's just a part of that role. It might be a specialty, but when you
I
get into
think
specializing, it's about, like I said, those
I think
non-functional bits.
if you don't have someone to spearhead the programming model so that there's constraints, conventions, and there's rails that developers can follow that makes their lives easier so they focus more on programming to the domain than they do other aspects. I think that's where the architect comes in. They laid the roadmap. They build out the initial framework for how things are going
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be.
but that's a developer role. It's just it's with a particular focus on non-functional things, right? You could build out this giant platform.
Yes, but you're still consulting with the developers or providing guidance to the developers on your vision and how
Yeah,
to
and it
get
has
there.
nothing to do with the business stakeholders.
It
What you're trying to do is you're trying to make it so that you can like enable, because the business stakeholders care nothing about all that crap. They care about the value that the product is delivering. So
right, and in order to convey that, you have to be able to show them something so that
yeah,
they
and I
can
don't
be
think the
able
architects
to.
do that. I think that the project managers or the product managers would do that. They'd be the liaisons, specifically product managers.
Okay, all right, I understand
I
now.
think of those as being the real liaisons to the business. Now, when you get into like cost and technical concerns, yeah, you know, and security and stuff like that, there are high level engineers that will interface with the business on that kind of stuff, provide technical, basically explain as a technical stakeholder why the business needs to care about certain things. Engineers will do that, and architects or top level architects will do that, but it's not really like a their goal isn't to necessarily like lead the development of the product. It's yeah, it's more of an enabling feature.
I like to lead the development of a product.
I think we all like to. That's why I really think the best situation would be for development is you give one developer one like domain or module and they just do everything in that.
Yes.
I really think that would be like the best. Like I don't know why we haven't normalized the idea of microservices being like you just assign microservices rather than to a team to just like one developer. And like so that because like isn't the whole idea that the what's the principle where the organization structure matches or the communication structure between teams?
Conway's law.
Yeah. So you're gonna do microservices, you should really have like try to get it down to single responsibility development, right?
So you know
So
what the
that yeah.
what the
Anyway,
counter argument is?
what's
The
that?
counter argument is that's not agile, Scott. I'm like, F agile. Like, why
Get
can't?
more.
Oh,
Oh,
he's
sorry.
on.
Yeah.
I got my screen
F
on
agile.
full thing. I'm like, F agile. Like, the, who's going to own the quality of that subsystem? And they're like, no, like developers, they should be able to move back and forth or be able to maintain other parts of the system.
Yeah, we should never be
And I'm
good at
like,
anything enough. Yeah.
I'm
To
like,
own.
but no one's going to own it, and you're going to have so many hands in it that it's not going to fit the vision of the original developer that was held accountable for delivering that first feature. Like, why can't we let people have pride in what they build and maintain and monitor? Like, we don't need developers to have their hands in everything. I understand why you would think that's advantageous, but I think there's more advantages than disadvantages of just letting someone own and be proud of what they've built and maintained. But baby boomers, they don't like that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's actually one of the things that probably one of the things I don't like as much about my current job, and might just be a necessity of it. But the like I'd like to just pick a domain or an area and just get really deep on it and be and it doesn't mean necessarily that I'm working on one service, but something I can be an authority on
Yep.
in some way,
And then
and
the
I
other
could
part,
provide back value because I know so much about what that thing is. But now I'm kind of jumping around and just filling in gaps and like I like all my knowledge of the domain is like skin deep. So
and then the other part is, I expect you to disagree with me on this one, but the other part is you have a higher likelihood of gauging a developer's how productive a developer is when you hold them accountable for an area that that's theirs versus them just cross pollinating, jumping in and out of other people's code bases, where you could see like, okay, this is Sean's module. Sean, you're held accountable for this. Here's the features, and then you say, all right, you roll up your sleeves, you build it out. You're one of the few. Well, you said that you don't think units. You have some form of automated tests,
I
regardless of
I think I
what
think
type it is.
yeah.
But you own the quality of it, right? There's other
Yeah.
developers that they'll bank it out. That feature works, but
But that
then they get really slow trying to extend it because they
yeah, but I
they
think
don't have that skill set of ensuring checks or ensuring an automated checklist that you didn't break anything, right? And you
yeah.
start finding out that, oh, damn, this stuff is like hella buggy, 6 months into the project. Where this other person, it's like things just work. And I think it's easier to ascertain where people are strong at and where they need help at, or if they're just
Yeah.
not a fit.
Yeah, I think you'd have to have some sort of I agree with everything you said. I think the only caveat would be that you'd have to have some way to gauge the complexity of the system that you're working on. Um, because like if you're given a simple CRUD app and you're maintaining it versus building like a highly complex, submodule that has a lot of moving bits that's getting changed a lot, that has a lot of forces acting on it, if that's not architected right, what you pick, like you could have all of those problems and it be just a symptom of the broader system, not of your ability to maintain that particular component. But that being said, I
Well,
think
the
something you
premise was a
said,
microservice, so like people
yeah.
were focused on the individual service.
But something else you kind of said, with like when you have something like that in your head and you've built it and you know it, it's so easy to be able to immediately give answers on like how complex is this to add in, what's it going to be like in terms of adding. You know exactly how to add it in, you know the pitfalls. It's like I just it's nice, I think, when you can, like, it's so much easier to go back to a piece of code you wrote and modify it than to go to somebody else, learn the code, try to understand what they were thinking at the time, and try to like just ascertain all the knowledge that went into that building, that initial building, and then try to extend it without breaking it, you know, than it is to just it's way harder to do that and jump around than it is to just own the piece and just be like, yeah, whenever you need to change this, I've got you, you
All right,
know.
so the counter argument is that person leaves.
Well, no, no, no. See, everyone says that, but it's just so stupid because what you're doing is you're saying that somebody who's in a company can just jump around from module to module, constantly leaving the last thing that they just worked on to go to something else that somebody else built and try to learn it and modify it, and then leave that to go to something else potentially, and then gain like this skin deep understanding, and then they go back to the original module. They don't know anything because now somebody else has modified it. Okay, yeah, you've got an important module in one person's hands that might be running well, really well. They leave, somebody else comes in, they just pick it up. They
Yeah,
go in, they know exactly what they need to discover, they know exactly what they need to invest in. It's clear.
my argument is if you have an automated like regression suite, then onboarding shouldn't be as difficult or impossible.
Well, if it's written in a way that describes to you what it was intended to do, like nicely. I mean, just having the test isn't a panacea. I think they have to be written like documentation. And I don't think a lot of tests are written like documentation. They don't explain the reasons why somebody did it. They just said, this code does this. This code, when I post this thing, it does this effect. Well, why does it do that effect? It should be written in, I really feel like tests should be written as executable documentation. Like, um, the business wants this, or this is the rule, and this is how I exercise that rule. Um,
So that just means a mapping of all automated tests to
Yeah, and then you get into
a
Gherkin and
user
all that
story
kind of stuff.
or a
Yeah,
work item.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
you're talking about behavior driven
yeah, something like that.
spec flow.
Yeah, spec flow stuff. Yeah, I really feel like that's the the like top level gold standard that I'd like to achieve one day is like literally where you could go to a page and have like a readout of documentation that comes from the tests that then have like this passes just like in the documentation. So you don't write separate documentation. It's all like the tests are executable documentation about what the system is meant to do.
I haven't messed with spec flow in like 15 years. When's the last time you
I haven't.
messed with
I've
behavior
never
driven?
really messed with it, to be honest. I've just on the edges I've played with it, but
It seems like a luxury tool.
yeah, and I don't know if there's a great way to do it, but there's very little. I think there's very little value in going and be like, oh yeah, so when I set this property named this thing, and then it does this thing, or it sets it and it saves it, and it succeeded at that. Okay, well that doesn't tell me like anything about it. And a lot of those tests is it like is that still necessary? What happens if that were to not? I don't know. There's just not a lot about information about the context um, in those kinds of scenarios. So
See if spec flow is still a thing. Behavior driven development. Um,
I don't know. Maybe there's like a world with AI where you could somehow combine AI with testing, where you could generate the documentation using AI, and then it will do all the automatic, you know, transfer that into like some sort of test structure for you or something like that, and modify it.
well, this is dated 2017 or later.
Yeah, that looks like it's old.
I mean, what just leads to the argument of, well, is it dated or is it just done, completed?
No, that's true. I mean, it's got Ryder there, and is it Selenium and
I'm trying to find example code.
create a calculated project, add living documentation.
Oh, right here.
Is that it?
I was actually looking for the ah wrong one. Hold up. There we go. Can you hear this?
Hello and welcome to step 6 of the step-by-step guide. In this video, with your preferred one, and then calculator be added by the SpecFlow project template that describes how adding two numbers should work with the calculator.
Yeah, given wins
Based on the
wins.
scenario text, SpecFlow generates an automated test that executes the scenario. However, it is not yet defined what the steps of the scenario should actually do. To define the first step, which in this example is given the first number is 50,
I've
and
always
the
wondered what
second
fitness
for the
was, Gameware.
implementation of the first step
Isn't
definition.
that Uncle Bob's thing?
What do you say?
Fitness.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
It's a
But
wiki acceptance testing framework.
I never messed around with it. I just remember him referencing it in his talks.
Just like previous, back to the text explorer, execute it successfully.
Yeah,
But
I'm
we are yet
actually
to define the second
interested
step.
in messing
And
with it whenever I get some work to do at my new job.
Hmm.
I'm sure the business will love it. Developers will probably hate it.
I know there's probably a new world where you can somehow combine these kinds of concepts with AI to accomplish like what you're doing. Um,
Dude, as a developer, you should be trying to put AI out of business instead of trying to leverage it and give it business.
why the whole goal is to like make yourself more productive so that you can now defeat all of the other developers, right?
The whole goal is
You could
to,
survive the purge that's coming.
yeah, I would argue the whole goal of it is to reduce costs for the
You can't
business,
you can't be
not for
replaced
the developer.
you can't be replaced by Devin if you build Devin. or
maybe,
or
maybe,
do you think
maybe,
Devin can one day replace himself.
Maybe this is next Friday's discussion, but like this market is hard, dude. And I think a factor of it is, I think we've had this conversation, but the industry, part of it is the industry waiting to see how they can leverage AI. And so they'll keep publishing job posts, knowing good and well that they're not going to hire anybody.
Yeah.
And I think AI has a hand in it. So
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna get resource constrained at some point, in terms of just like every business and every person wants to use it, but there's only so much CPU power out there and or GPU power out there, and you need nuclear facilities to or nuclear fusion to power it.
you don't think AWS, Google, and Azure can handle that demand?
No,
Okay. And IBM,
I think actually, you know what I wonder
or
if one day.
that's going to force more funding for quantum computers.
I've actually wondered this though: is all? Do you think at one point, some point, all of the Bitcoin mining machines that are out there are going to be, and other like cryptocurrency mining machines will get moved over to be like AI backbone? Because I mean, you've got a huge selection of like a huge set of GPUs that you could use to do AI. I assume it's pretty pretty extensive AI calculations and stuff.
Probably. I still don't understand. I'm not convinced that there's any transactions that are really occurring that are financial transactions of products versus people just buying and selling, or not even that, sending and receiving coins to each other. Like, I don't translate it. When you go to the gas station, people still don't pay with Bitcoin. When you go to the department store, people still don't pay with Bitcoin. When you buy an airline ticket, they don't pay with Bitcoin. When you take an Uber, they don't pay with Bitcoin. Like, I'm still puzzled on, for all these, what is it called, ASIC? I don't remember the name of it. For all this Bitcoin hardware, what it what is it actually doing? What
It's
transactions is it really addressing? Because I don't see anything being paid for using crypto.
well, do you pay for your Uber with stocks?
No,
Do you pay for Uber with your real estate?
no.
So we're talking like you've got fiat exchange currency that you use for that kind of stuff, right?
But those are investments. So, and the way
Yeah,
that they were modeling crypto was that they
it
were
would be an
they're,
exchange.
they were modeling it as a medium for payment.
Yeah, but it's not becoming that. It's becoming a medium for investment or storage of money. That's it. People exchange money or value out of the fiat system, out of other assets into it, and then it's stored there, and that's where its value is coming from. And then you could
Okay.
take it out and move it back into fiat by having someone else take that from you and pay for it with their fiat money. So I think that, or other assets. That's how it's all working. It's a like investment parking, like a money parking system. Just like gold, if you own gold. I mean, you could use gold. You can't use gold to buy an Uber. I mean, I guess you could maybe, but you couldn't. You need to have it in cash, right? But you could exchange that gold for cash at any time. So
Mm. What is Gambler saying?
The Commodore 64 outperforms IBM's Quantum System 1 megahertz computer, said to be faster, more efficient. Huh.
Because I think quantum computers still struggle to add two numbers together because they weren't designed for those types of problems.
Yeah.
And
You think
even
your
that,
Commodore
it
60,
solves that problem. It doesn't solve it 100% of the time, I thought.
you think your Commodore 64 is really neato? What kind of chip you got in there? A Dorito?
Please
That's my
stop.
favorite. That's my favorite. One of my favorite Weird Al Yankovic songs. It's all about the Pentiums. Have you ever heard that one?
Nah.
It's so
I
funny.
thought you just made that up.
No, it's real. That's a lyric from that. I don't know. There's the only thing I take issue with it in that song is that it's that what does he say? I got me 100 gigabytes of RAM, and then but he's in a 32-bit world, so you can't have more than 4 gigabytes of memory in a 30. Yeah. Anyways, unless he has that across many systems. Anyways, but um, some of it's starting to get dated,
Hmm.
some of the stuff, but it's still one of so it's a parody of All About the Benjamins.
Yeah, I think he
Um,
got famous for Amish Paradise.
no, he got famous for was it Another One Rides the Bus and I Love Rocky Road. Everything else after that's been either adding to his fame or whatever.
Rocky
There's
Road
even
is an ice cream. What?
yeah, I love Rocky Road. Yeah, the ice cream.
Oh, okay.
There's actually on I think it's Roku. There's a Weird Al Yankovic parody biopic about him where Daniel Radcliffe, the guy who plays Harry Potter, plays young Weird Al Yankovic. It's and then there's this gal plays Madonna, and it's weird. You're the weird ones.
On that note,
Yeah.
enjoy your weekend,
I'm
and
gonna go listen to It's All About the Pentiums and
yeah,
jam out to
I'm
that all
secretly
day.
gonna watch that after this video. I'm gonna floss my teeth and
You
watch
should
that.
you should just bring it up. It's so good.
It's
All
all
right.
about Pentiums, baby. Hold up, is Pentium still
Mm,
a company or hold up?
Intel.
Uh,
I
Intel
think
Pentium
Intel
processor.
still uses Pentium for some of their lower end processors now. Now
Okay.
they use Core for their like higher end, but I think Pentium still has a part out there. I think Pentium 4 was one of the first times I bought my own computer. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
think I had something similar back in like 2001 maybe.
yeah, yeah. You get the Dell towers and the Pentiums and the RD RAM. All
Something
about the
like that. I
Pentiums.
remember buying memory sticks and trying to put in inside my computer.
Yeah, those were the days before all this crap.
All
All
right.
right, all right,
Thanks.
ciao. Yep, bye.
Yeah. Bye. Bye, gambler.